From the iconic hot coffee lawsuit to the use of slurs by Papa John, these significant fast food faux pas did little to improve the company's already tarnished reputations. So let's take a look at some of the fast food scandals that shocked the world. Here we go. First up, a Subway spokesperson gets arrested. For 15 years, Jared Fogle worked as a spokesperson for Subway, bragging about how he'd shed more than 200 pounds by eating the company's sandwiches. In 2015, he was found guilty of some terrible crimes, and his life was turned upside down. Subway didn't have the best public relations when the charges against Fogle were made public, and the company swiftly fired Fogle. Next up, Krispy Kreme makes a typo. With the introduction of the Krispy Kreme Club, a Krispy Kreme store in the United Kingdom attempted to increase foot traffic in 2015. A donut decorating club is nice and dandy, but when it's marketed as KKK Wednesday, that's when things come a little dicey. When admirers pointed out that the store's acronym was the same as that of the Ku Klux Klan, the store promptly pulled the plug on the offer for good. McDonald's has extremely hot coffee. Most of us have certainly heard about the woman who sued McDonald's for nearly $3 million in 1992 because the hot coffee she spilled on her clothes was too hot. But there's more to the story than a disgruntled customer looking for a quick buck. Stella Liebeck not only damaged her pants, but she also received third-degree burns, which put her in hospital for a week and necessitated the need of medical attention for the next 2 years. In addition, it was discovered that 700 other people had already filed complaints with McDonald's regarding injuries they had sustained from coffee served between 180 and 190 degrees. Since then, the corporations dropped the temperature of the coffee by 10 degrees. Next up, Burger King caught with horse meat. Several European meat suppliers came under scrutiny in 2013 after it was discovered that they'd been putting horse meat into goods that were labeled as beef by authorities. Burger King was one of the most prominent corporations involved, with trace amounts of horse meat discovered in the company's supply chain. However, despite the fact that no proof of horse meat was ever detected in BK products themselves, the fast food business attempted to appease critics by switching suppliers. Next up, McDonald's hides beef in its veggie oil to save money. McDonald's was proud of the fact that its fries were cooked in cow fat until 1990 because the company finally changed the recipe to use vegetable oil in response to public demand. What it omitted to clarify was that the fries were still not vegan friendly, as seen by the inclusion of beef products in the ambiguous natural flavors section of the ingredients list. In response to a lawsuit filed by 3 vegetarians, including 2 who abstained from meat because of their religious beliefs, McDonald's asserted that it never claimed their fries were vegetarian in the first place. It eventually reached a settlement with the plaintiffs by contributing $10 million to Hindu organizations, among other things. Next up, Taco Bell's enigmatic beef. Several years ago, a class action complaint alleged that Taco Bell's beef contained only 35% flesh, which according to the USDA rules means the company cannot legitimately label its beef beef. The lawsuit was eventually withdrawn when Taco Bell invested in marketing to disprove the allegations, but the company's reputation for mystery meat has endured to this day. Although we live in an age where if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it, customers continue to consume beef thanks to the 12% of its beef products that aren't flesh. Next up, McDonald's uses old jokes. When comic magazine Viz offered a tip in 1989, it said, "Save a fortune on laundry bills. Donate your soiled clothing to Oxfam International. It costs 50p to return your clothes to them after they've been washed and ironed." A secondhand shop, rather than Oxfam, was substituted for a secondhand shop in a McDonald's radio advertisement about saving money several years after the original. There were a few more ads from the campaign that appeared to be based on other Viz jokes, but McDonald's stated that the jokes were common and that it hadn't taken inspiration from the magazine for the commercials. The case was resolved without going to court, and McDonald's contributed money to the comic relief organization. McDonald's, KFC, and other fast food restaurants buy expired meat. An American-owned Shanghai factory was caught on camera manipulating the expiration dates on expired meat before shipping it to McDonald's and KFC restaurants around China in 2014. The factory was shut down in 2015. The supplier was dropped by KFC's parent company, Yum Brands, while McDonald's continued to employ the same business but a separate factory. The negative reputation only grows worse with time. McDonald's critics have been around for a long time, and an unorganized group of activists circulated a booklet in 1986 entitled "What's Wrong with McDonald's? Everything They Don't Want You to Know," which accused the fast food giant of everything, from underpaying employees to deforestation of rainforests. In response to McDonald's demand for an apology, the 2 of the leaflet's writers refused to retract their statements, resulting in the longest libel case in English history being launched. After a nearly year-long legal battle, the court ruled in favor of McDonald's, but the company's reputation was still damaged. The judge decided that, while some of the claims were incorrect, others, such as abusing children in its advertisements and portraying its cuisine as healthier than it actually was, were valid. And finally, a foot in the mouth from Papa John's side. Again, who knows what Papa John's pizza would be like without him? Now that creator John Schnatter has been fired from the company, the rest of the world is finding out. When Schnatter resigned from his position as CEO in 2017, he was criticized for blaming poor pizza sales on the fact that some NFL players were kneeling during the playing of the national anthem. In spite of his apologies, he didn't learn his lesson. After using a racial slur during an international meeting, he was fired from his position and later resigned as chairman. Well guys, thank you for making it to the end. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell to get notified about our latest videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.